Nicky, you've won the Unibet Champion Hurdle 7 times before, more recently, of course, with the dual winner, Bouverdere. Sadly, he's not among your contingent this year, but you do appear to have a very, very strong quintet representing the team this year. Let's start with Epatante, who was very impressive in the Christmas Hurdle. And how confident are you that she can sort of step up another level, so to speak, and take her A game to Cheltenham?
It was a very big step up, to be fair, from the Jerry Fielden, which was an intermediate handicap hurdle at Newbury, to go straight from there into the Grade 1 at Kempton on Boxing Day. That in itself was a big step. And yeah, she was very impressive at Kempton. It was softer than normal at Kempton, and she handled that. I mean, a lot of people are going to say she didn't run very well at Cheltenham. She didn't. I thought she was one of our best chances of the week. But I'm going to excuse her that on a lot of grounds, really, because one or two of our horses had been quite badly affected by the compulsory revaccination. I mean, we had to revaccinate all our horses 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it was, before the festival. Other people were lucky they were on a different sort of strategy and didn't have to do it. And I know quite a few of ours were affected by it. And I think she was probably one of those. Or you could say she doesn't act round Cheltenham well. There's nothing that says that. But to be fair, it's easy to think that way, only because she's actually done all her winning on flat tracks. But that's like saying, oh, you've only won left-handed. Will it go right? Of course it will. Well, it might not, but there's no evidence that it won't. And so I think she has a very good chance. She's got pace. She's got sort of natural speed and the ability to quicken up. Again, it is different from Kempton and Cheltenham and Cheese and Chalk. So, everything's got to be right. But to be fair, everything's gone well.
And you said last year you thought she was one of your best chances going into the festival, and for whatever reason she just didn't perform. But is there something that she shows you different this year? Is there something on the gallops that you feel you've sort of got the best out of her?
I don't think so. I mean, we took a view straight after Kempton that we really wouldn't run her again. There was no need to. And, we've just done it our own way, and everything's gone well. She's been working extremely well.
Pentland Hills, though, was a shock winner for many in the Triumph Hurdle 12 months ago. He goes into this year's race at round sort of second favourite 5-1 with Unibet. He's had 2 runs this season and ran very well on both occasions, albeit without winning. But you've tinkered with his wins since then.
Yes, and I wouldn't read too much into that. It was only we had no evidence that it needed doing. Nothing said it needed doing. I was just actually trying to cover all fronts. To be fair, in the International before Christmas, he looked the best horse in the race. We were lucky. We had Call Me Lord was in there as well. I thought Pentland Hills travelled, jumped, and arrived there as if he was much the best horse. He didn't really see it out from the last. I could excuse him that on it being his first run of the season. And you're in Cheltenham, which is stiff. He was bound to come on for it. And I thought it was a really good run. You'd have to say you might be a bit disappointed with him at Haydock in the trial there, only because, again, he came there to last as if he was going to win as far as you like. And then he got collared on the line. It was desperately bad ground, but we're not sure that this ground isn't going to be a whole heap better, to be honest with you. It's only just me thinking that he hadn't just been finishing his races as well as he was last year, when both at Cheltenham and Aintree, when he hit the front, he went away. And he hasn't done that, certainly didn't at Haydock. At Haydock. And sometimes you'll get a situation where, even though you can't hear any noises, there is something there that is just preventing them getting maximum oxygen, that is. And if you've got any infirmity there, it will count against you, and 1%, 2% can make a difference. So it's a very easy, quick fix. It's no mega operation or anything like that. It is just a procedure whereby it's like tightening a bolt up, and it's just to tighten up the muscle in the controls the soft palate.
If we take that win procedure out of the equation completely, is there anything that he shows you that he's trained on as a 5-year-old? Because we've often seen how hard it is for these juveniles to sort of continue progressing.
It always has been, hasn't it? Historically, it says 5-year-olds don't have a very good season and they don't win the Champion Hurdle. Of course, it's been proved wrong, but there are lots of 5-year-olds that have. But historically, they do have a difficult second season.
Does he show you that he's sort of as good as he was?
His work's excellent. Yeah, no, he's been in great form. And he looks much stronger. He's bigger and stronger than last year. There's no doubt about that.
Fuso Raffles, Nicky, looked brilliant in the Adonis last year. Even better, perhaps, at Punches Down. 2 runs this term, just scrambled home in the Unibet Elite Hurdle, and perhaps disappointing in the Christmas Hurdle. Did anything come to light after that?
Well, I think in the Unibet Elite Hurdle, I think it probably wasn't a bad race. It was in bad ground. It was at the time, it was early in the year, and you'd possibly say he wasn't quite as, ours as a whole was just a bit before. They were still just needing a run. I could forgive him that. Kempton, I cannot explain. It was too bad to be true, to be fair. He dropped out of the race very, very quickly. 3 out, fine, 3 out and 100 yards, and it was all over. I mean, he dropped out of the race like a stone through water. So I wanted to get another run into him, and I'd like to have done. But we were sort of, let's say, as much blaming the ground, but think it was more to do with the ground, and you might want it better, and therefore we've he's missed all the trials. He's had a racecourse gallop since, and he's in good form, but we're going to just have to reconsider the whole thing vis-a-vis the ground. I personally would be in favour of running him because there's nothing else to do, and you want to see where he is. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well then, maybe he's another of these 4-year-olds that just wants another year, and we'll give it to him, and hopefully they could take a sabbatical and come back and be better horses in a year's time.
Is he the sort of horse that you may go chasing with next season?
You could do. He's a very good jumper, but he hasn't had a lot of racing. So you could even sort of think that he, want a bit more experience before he goes chasing.
Okay, 2 others in the Unibet Champion Hurdle, Verdana Blue and Call Me Lord, both biggest prices, but Verdana Blue, if the ground's lightning quick, you'd have to give her a massive squeeze.
Yeah, the chances of the ground being lightning quick are literally 0. I mean, absolute 0. On lightning, for 2 reasons. One, if it was lightning quick, he'd water it. But he won't be needing his watering system for the next fortnight, I can tell you.
She's a very good mare, isn't she?
She's a very good mare. She's still capable of running a good race, and I'd say in all probability, she'll run, and she's capable of running a very good race. It's a very open year. She ran a good race in it last year. That looked pretty open too, when a lot of horses didn't show up on the day. Buvardere had fallen. The 2 mares, Applejade and Lorena, who I thought were the biggest dangers to Buvardere, were out of the race on top of the hill. So, again, it was open then, it's open now. And she finished 5th, I think. And that was soft. But she bounced back after that. And I don't see why, whatever, she wouldn't. I would think she's more than likely to run. I don't know. We'll have to discuss that with her new owners.
And Call Me Lord, a winner, of course, of the Unibet International Hurdle, beating, as we said, Pentland Hills. What did you make of his run at Sandown last time?
I thought he was a bit flat. When his horse is very fresh and bouncy, he wasn't. You think he's just getting a bit older and wiser, and it doesn't sort of buzz him up unduly these days. But I don't know. I just sort of felt he was a bit flat. He loves Sandown and he loves very soft ground. There was a time when we thought he had to go right-handed, but in the Unibet International Hurdle, we tried him left-handed, having sort of left all left-handed tracks off the agenda for 2 years. And actually he was very good. He didn't he didn't hang at all, but he tends to do everything to the right. But I say, he was good there, so I don't see why he shouldn't do it again. And he goes in the ground, yeah, he'll be there.